I'm Father Xene Sanchez, taga Basak, Mandawi, Cebu. I was ordained in 1981, and I left our country in 1983 to work in the SVD Congo province, and I'm now there for 38 years.
Tell me about your vocation story.
When I was still a kid, I already wanted to become a priest. But when I was studying on grade 6, parang mura na batag ulitaw naggamay. So, I decided not to become a priest. I still remember Brother Ralph. He was an SVD brother who went around in the different schools. Ako, public school man ko. Oh, and he was there. And then when he asked, kinsa may gustong magpari? Ang gitukmod nila, ako. And I refused. So, I really wanted to decide not to go to the seminary. And what happened is this. I was supposed to study in Sacred Heart School because all my brothers, they studied there. 5 brothers sila. 4. And when I was on the way to the school for the exams, nasunog man ang LTO. So they have to stop all the cars to register the number. And because of that, I arrived late in the school. I was no longer accepted. Muna nga, na San Carlos ko, UAC. And I did not know that in the UAC, naada yung mga seminarista ng SVD who studied with us. And they spotted me, and so they asked me if I could join them. Muna to, kanang na-arouse na gyapon ng akong vocation. And yet, when I was in San Carlos, daghan gyapon og mga test because, for instance, ang among mga classmates are all lay students. And then sa University of San Carlos, where my classmates are young boys and young girls. So again, my vocation was put into the test, but to God's will, finally I decided to go to Tagaytay. And that's how I became an SVD priest. 1983, dito ko ma-assign sa Republic Democratic of Congo, and I stayed there until now. Well, I have reasons for that. Kay anugon man kayo ang investments in terms of human efforts. Imagine if you have to learn French, usa gina ka tuig, and still after that, you will not really master the language. Muna anugon kayo, if you study French. And then when you arrive in Congo, you will still have to study another local language, at least 3 months. But then you have to invest a lot of efforts to master the language. And since I work in 2 different regions with another national language, we have 4 national languages. So I still studied a second one. So investment gapon. So for me to go to transfer to another was a loss in terms of effort on your investments. And of course, I have learned to love the country and the work that I was doing there.
So may trabaho rin mo dito pala?
Okay. Ang una na kong trabaho, muna gingalan nila Bush Missionary. Ang parish namo was a very big one. Imagine to the north, mga 80 kilometers. To the south, mga 60. To the east, mga 60. To the west, mga 40. Dako kayo nga, murag sa Cebu ang sad, no? Kadako ang country. And then, ang among mission was to visit one village to another. And since the villages are quite far, actually we don't go home. So where you land, aton sad mi matog, So, muna akong rhythm niya to is 20 days in the bush. So, you start Monday, sorry. You start Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then you go home. Monday, tog, tibok, adlaw. Tuesday, we start kanang mga records. Wednesday, preparing for living. Yeah, lakaw na sad sa kwan. So that's what my first job was, kwan, bush missionary. And so the villages, sometimes you can go there by jeepney, yung Land Rover ba? Dahil kayang-kaya yung ano. Sometimes you have to walk. Sometimes you have to go on foot. Anya. And the kanang murag kapoy kay katug yung musakay ka murag baruto bitaw nga way katig. Kuyaw kay mayabo. And you might be traveling for mga 3 hours just to arrive to one village. And I was even laughing at myself kay when I was still a young missionary, ambitious still. So I brought with me mga strips bitaw nga dunay mga Greek words and the equivalent in English. Panaginot ba sa 3 hours while I'm just sitting there on the boat. But then finally I said, well, let the time pass and I can see nature itself now. Okay, so that was my first job. And the second one was Bible animation. Of course, in the bush, I was already doing Bible animation. Pero, kuan gyud na aman mi center. There is a biblical center where we really dedicated much time, materials, and talents to produce kanang formation books or brochures, and also to give seminars to the people. So I was very much involved, and I am proud to say na ang katubitong basic Bible seminars ni Lutger Feldkemper and team introduce na mo dito, and it really clicked, no? Kanang moingon gud ng mga tao, Father, why have you hidden this thing to us? Why did we not know it only now? So we were giving Bible seminars on different one, and at the same time, I was asked to work in formation. Dito sa Congo, when I arrived, there was only one Congolese in perpetual vows. Osaragyod. Unya, pag abot na ko dito, they decided to revive formation. Kay ang naitabo ko dito, kanang ang Congo, ang dictator dito, he made a campaign na we will go back to authenticity. So if you were a foreigner, bad shot ka. Labi na gyud ang katong gikan sa Europe, colonizer sila. So all the seminarians in the 60s, they all went away. So it took another mga 20 years before katong pagbalik na nako when they again decided nga mo open tag seminaryo kay ang superior general atong panahon na was Hikirin. So mo sa ninitabo, no, in the 1970s wala na mo accept ang Congo province of new missionaries from abroad. So seminaries were closed, no missionaries from abroad, so the province was dying. So katong si Kuana, si Hikirina, they asked the generalate nga mag-send na sa sila mga bagong mga pari, motong niabot ko. But the generalate said, don't only ask for praise coming from outside, produce your own. Moto, so I work in the I work in the formation. Ang una namong formation was katong Congolese ragyod. So philosophy, after novitiate, philosophy niya, theology. So motoy akong unang trabaho, and then I happened to be elected provincial. So I still serve mga 6 years ko sa province as provincial. And then after my term, balik na sa kanila sa seminaryo, but this time it's no longer pure Congolese, kundi kanang we call it Common Formation Center. There are around 13 countries where the SVDs are working in Africa. So ang mga seminarians nila from different countries, we put them together in what we call Common Formation Center. So I was appointed there as rector sa kuan. So after formation, they asked me to work in the publishing house. You know, the SVDs, especially in Africa, is really known for our dedication to the Word of God. Kay Divine Word Missionaries guta. Muna nga, they look at us as kuan, mga kitatanan, mga specialist kuno ta sa Bible. And also, we are publishing mga Bibles and Bible materials. Halimbawa, kanang English Bible, kanang Jerusalem Bible, French Bible. But not only that, there are around 400 local languages sa Congo. And in Africa, so many languages. So we are editing many Bibles, complete Bibles in different local languages in different countries. And we are providing Bibles and Bible materials in Congo and the whole of Africa and Madagascar. Unya, namasatay mga igsoon ng mga itom sa Haiti. We are also sending Bibles and Bible materials there. So, muna akong kuan.
What is your experience about internationality and interculturality?
Yeah, yes, I was very lucky nga sa Congo, especially when I arrived. Daghan kaming mga nationalities dito. Yeah, I think more than 13 or 14 nationalities. So, kaming Filipino, kuadra, naman sa namalik, no? Pero I think mga Pilipino nga nakaabot gud sa Congo, mga abot sa tingaling mga 12, pero from one after another. So we have very multiple nationalities, and we were working very closely to one another. And imagine how it really worked. Ang majority Germans, no? Nag-ilik ko nila og provincial. There were only 3 Filipinos at that time. So that means nga ni work gid ang interculturality. They did not see me as a Filipino, but rather as an SVD. Kato sa akong giingon nga Common Formation Program, ang katong among seminaryo, sagol yun. Naapay mga French-speaking sa Togo, Benin, Congo, naay Portuguese-speaking, Angola, kanang napagani sa Mozambique, naay English-speaking, Zambia, South Africa, Ghana. So we have, from katong sa akong panahon when I was rector, I think there were more than 10 nationalities working, living together with different costumes, cultures.
What are your experiences of culture shock?
Culture shock. Let me say, as kita Pilipino, murag we are in between kanabitang ang katong mga Europeans and Americans compared to Filipinos. Mas maka-adjust ta sa kanang kuan, mas maka-adjust ta sa Africa. Pero naagya po yung mga culture shocks. Like for instance, kanang daghan sila customary nga dili mo jive sa atong ang paglubong dito. Diba niadto diri sa ato kuyugan pamangani sa pari hangtod gyud dito sa lubong, no, inig blessing. Sa Congo you cannot do that because kanang, I don't know why, kanang, during burials, when there are deaths, murabag there is a crowd panic ba? Nga, usahay gani ang magpasaan sa lungon ba? Ingon na, uy, nibugat man. Niya, atras. Niya, dagan nga rin. Niya, nahitabo gani nga, I could not even cross the road. Kay duha ka, dito na doon, cemetery ba? Duha ka, kanang minatay ba? Unya, nagsigi sila ininsultuhay. Finally, they put down the coffins. Nagsinukumagay sila. Tunga sa daan. So, I mean, that's really a culture shock, no? Or you are driving, a small child will stand without moving sa tunga-tunga sa daan. Kaya na inamatay. So, you have to pay something. Ano ba? Niya. O ka na sa drive ka. Andre, kanang di ay asin. Sama ng asin. Kanang tumar. Nga naman. Di ako idang kuhan lungon. Kasi lungon god. Awa mo kitag lungon diya. Kanang din posporo. So, what happened is, kanang sa mga places where the village is really very, very far, di naman na mo mada ang patay. Ilan na lang kuhaan o kuko or di remove a hair niya ilang butang sa posporo moto ilang dadon sa ilang village aron ilubong. So muna yung mga different culture shocks. Otherwise daghan sad sila kuan. I mean, we can easily adjust with the people and even really love them, no? Ang murag kuan ba? Kanang, you are one of them.
What about the similarities, no, with the Filipino culture and the culture of your mission area?
Yeah, tingali religiosity pananglitan. Very religious ang Congolese. And even nya kanang sa Pilipinas gani 500 years na tanga Kristiyanos, daghan ka pong tagtuo-tuo. Mo sanay murag nahitabo dito nga Kristiyano sila pero nasad sila tuo-tuo sad ana. Anya, when it comes to hospitality, very hospitable ang mga Congolese. If you are there, you are really treated as a guest, no? They give you what they can. Very welcoming sila. And to my surprise, if you go anywhere, you can start a conversation. And even, I'll tell you a very nice experience. Katong, my parents, doon ako sa France. Unya, akong papa kay, di naman kapugong sa iyang ihi. Tiguang naman. Mingon na gani, boy, asa mo tamang ihi, boy? At tugi kumudagan sa kanang dunay black kuan itong mga nagkuan bas tindahan or what, because I know that he would not refuse me. Nya munto nga kuan nya mutagad nindot kay sila tagad, and then it's a very family clanis mentality, di ba kanang alam bitaw na to nuclear family, no? It's a clan, which is also like ours. Yeah. Well, daga pakisama na kuan. So no wonder why I really feel at home when I was there.
About difficulties, what are the difficulties?
Difficulties lang. Daghan kayo kanang, I mean, we can start from political situation. Congo is the fourth poorest country in the world, despite all our riches, no? Unya, niadto kanang amundan, pertig yung paita. 20 kilometers might take you 2 or 3 hours sa imong sakyanan. And then I have lived civil war, and I have lived kanang havocs ba kanang kuan. malitan kaning katong ni protesta bitang mga tao against our dictator. Sige paputok yan. Mga kuan ba? Oh, niya. Muna yung mga, of course, we live very poorly compared to kuan. Mga mo gani tingaling mga madali-dali og kaon nito kanari yung money. We don't have mga candies or ice cream, kana panagsara kayo ng matilawan mo. So in terms of food, it happens nga labi na gitong during the war, there were rumors nga ang mga insik was also asked to fight for the government. Nakita di magita para nila insik magika. So that's also one of the problems. Okay. We are not like Europeans, no? Kanang mura tag insik, and unfortunately daghang insik dito pero di kay sila mumingol sa mga tao. Muna nga murag budget ba sila? Ni apil tag ka budget. Ningon Chinese go home. Ang akong advantage when I start to speak, I speak almost like them. And so they are taken aback and so they start respecting me. Ako yung nun nga, pila naman mong edad? 20. Ako, kapin ako 30 diri, ako binuang niya. mas Congolese pa ko nimo, ay di ko tinuntuhi, kay narbi na gil, nariyara ko na magpuyo dis doon. Yeah.
Usually, kapag kita ng mga Pilipino, kung madto sa laing lugar, we always bring a piece of the Philippines to the countries we go to. Unsa may imong gidapag adto nimo?
Of course, tingali usa sa atong silbi qualities sa Pilipino nga we are open to so many things. Kay cross culture man ta, Western, Eastern, and all that. So, dili kay ta kanang palitan, the way you look at a Congolese, you look at him as kuan, kanang imong igsoon gyud, kanang wa bay kanang kuan nga avoy apartheid ba. Niya ang especially what I learned diri sa sa atong seminaryo, yung formation. So we were always geared towards giving seminars and giving courses or retreats. I really profited from that. Okay, when I was there, we composed even seminars. Our trust for lay people. Pananglitan, I trained mga 20 tingali ka, mga housewives and ordinary men, no? 1 year, akong gitrain sa Bible. And finally, they were able to give seminars by themselves. Kaya di ba sa ato, we don't not only preach, di ba? Kinanglan nga, lay people will also give, no? Di ka usagod, gi-imbitar ko sa cardinal to give seminar to their scholastics. I did not give the seminar. I brought my team, yung mga local pan. And it was a real shock and even a positive surprise for the seminarians when they even commented, you know, when you speak, giingnan sila sa among team, no? You don't speak from the mind, di ba parehas klase ba? You speak from the heart and from your faith. So, kanang ang ato batang trust bitaw sa lay, I brought it with me. Niya, kanang unsa pa man ang atong mga pasensya, no? Pasensya kay tang mga kanang kuan, and then we are not really that perfectionist ba kanang kuan. Dali ra kang maglagot nga niya. In fact, ingodan sila. Dre, ano man nga katong pare nga niadto iniabot niya tagaan namin niya masinina niya og dili amon chapel donate din siya og sin nya simento. Ako lang na tanawa ra ko akong buhok unsa may color. Itom. Pareho sa inyo itom. Sa to pa, while I am the priest here, ang ako rin ma-share ninyo is the word of God. Yung mga kwarta. So, usa sana sa kuan, the poverty of a missionary. Wa man tay funds. Di ba? So, we live with what we have. Oh, niya ako sa nang i-explain nila nga. Ito magkugbuhok. Sa to pa, wa ko'y kwarta. So, we will work together. And we will construct with what we have. Muna, ang kuan niya. Mag-seminar, instead nga ako silang tawagon sa mission, I go to their barrio. At may matuog dito. At may dito mag-seminar.
Okay. So, ang sunod na ito nga, next part na ito, Father, morning siya ka ng common comments nga gikan sa mga tao about priests and missionaries. Missionaries cannot go home.
Ang tinuod, mga before my generation, once a missionary left, di na to siya mabalik. Muna istorya ni Father Tam Cassidy niya to. Pero karon, with the facilities even of kanang transportation, it's, and especially in Africa, kay dali man ming masakit dito. We are even given the privilege of going home every 3 years. So, the people will not have that same mentality. Bisan gani ang akong mga igagaw, mga igsuon, they know that I have to go home. Mas malipay pag gani sila. Yeah.
Okay, so another statements kanan. Kasagaran nga isulti sa mga tao. Sayangan ni mong Father Oy, kay gwapo manunta ka.
Well, ingnon na nato nga, we give the best to God. Di masakay ko gwapo, di man. Murag di kay tana maapil. Wa kay masayangan na to.
Kanang sunod kanang. Mga dato o mga pari.
Dito sa Congo, it is true from the point of view sa Congolese looking at missionaries. Dato, yun. Nga naman, we are the only ones having a big house kay kumbinto man. We are the only ones having cars kay usara tingali jeep sa tibuok na parokya. We are the only ones having lights. Na napatay generator, napatay, kuan ba sa. But if you compare missionary working in Congo compared tingali sa atong mga diocesan priests diri sa Pilipinas, pobre gid mi. Ngitan, akong kuan, pila may imong singanan ng pocket money sa sakbuan.
4,000 the year sa
4,000 mga kuan na $80, no? Ang amo 12 euros. Tato pa mga $15 tingali. Mura na among kuan. Ang among silbi kuan niya, wa mi dito, ikaw pa'y magmisa, ikaw pa'y pangayuan, usahay. Anya ang kanang kanabitong kolekta. Pobre kayo nga mong kolekta. Muna nga, really, in terms of observing life of poverty, you can say that to us, kaming nagtrabaho dito sa Congo and perhaps in other African countries. We really live poverty dito. In fact, when I was in the provincial council, we only went to a restaurant, Portuguese restaurant, one after 3 years.
Say it again, Father. Once
in 3 years.
Once in 3 years.
Okay, ang term sa provincial, di ba, 3 years man. Igo namin nagpasalamat sa mga among council. Mura tayo panahon nga dito mi sa restaurant.
Wala may Jollibee dito.
Kanang na-aside sila'y murag karo naghinay-hinay na o nanay mga inganana ba? Nanay Jollibee sana. But we very seldom go there. Dahil mahal man kaistanan niya ang mga ang standard para sa mga Europeans or kanang mga NGO or ONG, non-governmental organizations, muna sila yung kwartahan. Nya kami sad karon makakaon ako restaurant o gila kong imbitahon.
Okay, so nagpari kay broken hearted.
Well, unfortunately, good. When I was a seminarian, of course, kanabang sa tinga, ma-infatuated ka sa kanang mga dalaging ding na to, mga kuan. Labi na gid sa San Carlos niya to. Paggan kay mig mga gwapa nga mga classmate nga kuan. Unya, but I knew already at that time that I was going to become a priest. So I did not want to break hearts. So I was never broken-hearted.
Next, priests are good singers.
Di, sad kayo. Di man ko maigtingog. Pero...
priests are close to God.
Tingali. Yeah, or dili tingali, gabaan, tas Ginoo, anada. I mean, I really feel I'm close to God. In fact, the older I become, the more I see what I was doing since I was a young priest until now. Igo lang gikong gisabak sa Ginoo, gitukmod. Murag ang Ginoo ragi nagasig gandos nako. I never had mga personal ambitions ba nga muni. In fact, when I studied sa katong doctoral studies na ganita to, when I realized nga writing a book might cost me another 5 years, sabi ko, ingon ko nga, pauli na lang ko sa Congo. They need missionaries there. So, ang Ginoo ra gid ato nagbuot. Muna nga kuan kanang sa tayo mo pumunta na debuted close to God. I really feel that God was always with me. Unya tanan bitaw nga mga projects nga among gibuhat pa rin karon bananglitan, very successful until now. Yung muna nga I could not put it on my merit na tungod kay mao ko mao ni no, circumstantial kadaghanan, which you can really see the hands of God working in me or pushing me to do something.
In summary, how will you summarize your life as a missionary?
Muna na kuan. Well, since nearing na po sa 40 years, 40 years priesthood, karong October 24 will be my 40th anniversary. Yeah. Murag ang akong team, this always comes back to my mind. Kuan ba? Wandering in the desert for 40 years ang people of Israel. Yeah. Si Jesus said nag 40 kwantad siya. Mura parang that's how I can summarize my life. I was always wandering. Wonder because God called me and I went where He asked me to go. And I had to go from one place to another, no? And I was assigned from one job to another. Paradoxically, even if I only work in Congo, there was a time when I was assigned as the zonal coordinator. So I was really wandering from one country to the other. Hapit tanan nga mga African countries where we are working, I was already there. Munang sige lang gid ko kuan. Packing, going, niya. And all for the Word of God.